Welcome back now. Africa's pro cycling team Dimension Data for Qhubeka are in the country on their off-season in a retreat in Cape Town. Working with their charity, the team handed over more than 150 bicycles to youngsters in the Western Cape. I, of course, tagged along for a couple of days and caught up with the team to get a sense of the work they do and what makes them tick. Qhubeka, a Nguni word that means to carry on, to progress or to move forward. Over the years, this has become more than just a word. It has meant hope and a life changed for thousands of kids across the width and breadth of South Africa. The Qhubeka Foundation believes that mobilizing people with bicycles can change lives through creating access to education, healthcare and economic opportunity. And that's where Africa's Team Dimension for Qhubeka have picked up the proverbial baton and cycled with it. Last Thursday, Team Dimension Data for Qhubeka was able to hand over 175 Qhubeka bicycles to the Charleston Secondary School. This made possible thanks to donations raised through the team's #Bicycle Change Lives campaign. On their website, the team will tell you that Qhubeka isn't just an afterthought. It is the reason they clip in and ride. It's their incentive to go out and train and their motivation to win races. 5,000 is where it started for the people at Qhubeka. Now it's over 50,000 and going strong.
Again, priceless support. Without the team, I'm not too certain how far we would have gone. They race to raise awareness in terms of our work, and that also then attracts even more donors. So they actually do bring a lot of value. Their contribution we actually cannot measure.
I remember when we started it was 5,000 bikes, hence the 5. We way beyond that, and we're going to run out of hands. In fact, we've run out of fingers and toes to count. Where are we now with those numbers?
We're now pushing over 80,000 since inception, and with the team itself, we're pushing over 17,000. So yeah, the sky's the limit here.
I'd probably ask the question, where and how did it start? But that is now, it's water on the bridge. Has the message evolved somehow, or it's still on that, and that's why maybe it's grown to leaps and bounds?
The message has stayed very constant, Thabiso. The intention is to change lives, and that's what the team does. The team races to change lives. Qhubeka does what it does to change lives. So yeah, the message is still the same, it's just grown.
What started as an African bicycle dream years back when the team made their debut at the highest level of the sport by competing in the Tirreno Adriatico and the Milan San Remo. Not only has Team Dimension Data for Qhubeka made their mark on the world tour with impressive performances over the years, but it has made its mark on the impression it has left behind through the Qhubeka charity, something that sets it apart from their competitors. Who's the guy that when you go to work you answer to?
The boss.
Are you the boss? And well, this is what it's about, isn't it? Kids, smiles on faces and changing lives, so to speak, and that's what this team is about.
Yeah, it is, and it's really great to see all the kids smiling and ride their bikes and get their first bikes. It's really nice and be a part of this in the team. It's totally different to other teams, and I'm really happy that I can be a part of it and see how happy everyone is getting, and it's nice.
I always say this kind of sets the tone for you guys going into the new season. You come here, you relax, you go into that with gusto and vigor, and looking at last season, geez, it was excellent.
Yeah, it was really good last year, and it is really nice, and it's good for Qhubeka, and it make more publicity, and I think it's really good to start off the next season with give bikes to the children and see really how important it is. It's good for everyone in the team, and it makes a difference.
Young man, so you got is this your first bike? Have you had a bike before?
My first bike ever.
It must mean something to get this to you.
Yeah. What can I say? Like for us, for me, a person who lives in a far distance, so this like will really change my life. Maybe it will change my life. Maybe I'll stop like being late at school some days. Maybe I'll be more present in school. Now I don't have any reason to say why I wasn't present in school. I used to, I'm gonna miss those days, but okay, it's all right. Yeah.
It just puts things into perspective on like how lucky we are and how privileged we are, and if we can help give someone a chance or give someone a hand, it's a nice feeling, and hopefully they can get better and improve in whatever they do, or they just feel good because they have a bike and they enjoy it, and you know, be nice.
Any tips you received from the young man today?
No, he told me he's a good runner and he likes all the sport, you know, and he looks good, he's a fit guy, so he's looking forward to teaching his brother how to use the bike, so it's nice day for him, nice day for us.
Young man, do you know who this guy is?
No, I not really asked his name before.
What did you say his name was?
He didn't tell his name for me.
He didn't tell you his name?
No, he didn't tell me. It's something for our people that can manage to. It's just that effect on our lives that making lives better, and you can think what you've done before and you go on with your life, and thus it's exciting for me today to receive a bicycle, so I will teach my brother to ride on it.
Let me guess, so you're going to start watching cycling on TV, or you're going to try and catch up?
Yes, I watch the cycling on TV, but I like most of all, I like athletics. So Mo Farah is my role model, so I dream bigger like him.
It's amazing. It's just seeing something that can change their lives. Whether it's mode of transport, you see everyone's having something. You see the faces. Like, look at his face now. Look. You love it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, he's so like it's a mode of exercise. It's mode of transport. It's something to play with. Like I take a bike for granted. It's what I do for a job. It's always my favourite thing to come and see lads like Si that yeah, just get straight on the bike and ride.
Do you know who this is?
No.
Did you ask him his name?
No.
Ask him his name and ask him what he does, and ask him how big he is in the world. Now, for you, sitting out here receiving, I always say, I was speaking to one of your school friends, and I said to him, what does this mean getting not only a bicycle, but for people who obviously cameras are following them to come and say, hey, you matter?
Oh, it's a big, how can I say it? It's a big dream if a kid gets a bike, but it can change your life also. So also like, you can't explain it how you getting it.
Have you had a bike before?
No.
So this is your first one?
Yeah, it's my first one. I like riding it.
Someone who knows exactly where these kids come from is one of the newest members of Team Dimension Data for Qhubeka, Nicholas Dlamini. A dream that started 9 years ago in the Capricorn settlement in Maizenberg has seen the 21-year-old take a pedal forward to possibly becoming the first black South African to ride in the Tour de France.
Nicholas is a role model. He's obviously shown that if you come from whatever your background is, there are opportunities, and now he's lifted his game to be part of Team Dimension Data. He's going to be part of the World Tour next year, rubbing shoulders with the best riders in the world. And I mean, to have Mark Cavendish, a renowned rider, on his team and mentoring him, and him being part of this great team. So yes, to the youth, here's a shining example of where you can be in a couple of years' time. So to the youth, I say, take the opportunity, make use of what you have, and dream as big as what Nick has done, and be as successful as him.
Growing up, I've always wanted to be a role model, because I never had a role model within the township growing up. So for me, it was really difficult. I always had to motivate myself to get out of bed and go train hard. Now I want to be a leader in my community, and so that other kids can also see, if I can make it, then there's nothing stopping them from getting to their dreams. So yeah, I always try and help the kids in the community so that they can sort of realize their dreams. In terms of goals, I don't really have personal goals for next year.
Can we put pressure on you? I'd like to see a green jersey in you sometime.
Maybe not a green jersey, maybe a yellow jersey sometime in the Tour de France. It always seems it almost seems impossible, but it's that's probably what I thought about the green jersey as well when I got it. So yeah, maybe I'd like to go that for a jersey in the Tour de France.
And that's how this team is. An ambitious upstart which has become a force to be reckoned with. And of course, with great ambition, you need strong and as ambitious partners.
One of the things we're looking at with this team this year, obviously we've committed to the team so that they can try and achieve their goal of 2020. I told Doug, and you're the first person I've told this publicly, said I want to hear Nkosi Sikeleli Africa being played on the Champs-Élysées by 2020, right? It's never been played there before, and that's my personal sort of incentive that I set, Doug. But as Dimension Data, we're also looking to try and not just provide financial incentives but also technology to the team. So we're going to be working very closely with this team to see how we can apply technology to their improvement. We're launching an app tomorrow with the team where we're monitoring every one of the riders' health on a daily basis. We're putting it into a data analytics platform, and we're going to then start to see how we can predict whether or not some certain riders are looking like they're getting sick, and we need to sort of focus a little bit more attention on them. And we're going to be launching some other initiatives later in the year, really trying to see how do we take technology and apply it to a sports team to help drive more performance, more wins, which ultimately ends up in more Qhubeka bikes being donated.
For that to happen, you can never be too early to start planning ahead.
So now this week, literally, we plan 80% of our 2018 season, what the major objectives are with which riders, and then kind of everybody funnels in behind that, and then we put out our strategic intent, I guess, of what we want to achieve, and then we go and embark on the season. Because after this, when the riders go back home, they're full into training, and they know, and we start to book flights down to Tour Down Under, like Nicholas Dlamini, he's going to ride his first World Tour race, the first World Tour race of the year in January, in Australia, and he's like, I've never been to Australia. So that's what we do now, and we get the riders' minds around it, so that when they go home with their families over December, they can mentally know kind of what and where they will be for most of the next season.
It's things that maybe some of us don't take for granted. We don't know it's 2-3 weeks turnaround time from when you were still working to out here, and that's what it's about at the end of the day, the passion about the sport that these guys love and you guys do best. Yeah,
there's actually, the sport has become so hard, and there's so many races that there's no real off season anymore. The riders will race from January to October, and then end the season middle of October. Then we meet here in the first week in November, so they take from the middle of October till the end of October off, and then they're starting to think about their goals for the 2018 season, and then they start to build again, because there's no more training races, there's no more races that you can use to prepare, because everyone's racing so hard that every single race is a goal race now. So cycling has changed, and guys like Mark Cavendish have been in the sport 11 years already. They have seen the shift and the change, and so it's actually become more, and so they need to look after themselves better. So anyway, it's a tough sport. Of course, a big focus is around the Tour de France again. It's the race that South Africans watch more so than anything else, so that brings us home, and that'll be a big focus around Mark Cavendish, and then with Louis Meintjes joining our team, and the long-term plan of trying to win the Tour de France with Louis in the next 3 years, which is kind of a short-term plan, but sport is sport, and so Louis will go to the Giro d'Italia. He's never ridden a Giro d'Italia before. He's done 4 Vuelta Españas, 3 Tour de France's, and we want him to go to the Giro d'Italia, take some chances, shake the tree a little bit, get him out of his comfort zone, try and go top 5, and really, in a race like that, which is really difficult and really hard, as hard, if not sometimes harder than a Tour de France in terms of profile and stages, to try and do something really significant and become that guy that we can continue to support into the future and stand on the podium in a Grand Tour, which is something we've never done before, and no South African has.
Actually, also heard you speaking about being counted with the top 5 as a team now, possibly at Tour de France.
No, absolutely. We want to rank, move our World Tour rankings up. We want to become, a team that is. we are a team that's already well respected in the pro peloton, and we've attracted some of the best talent. And you don't buy experience; it's earned. And I think, we're getting to a point now where we more consistently we can deliver the big results, and so we're looking forward to I guess to the next 3 years, and especially 2018.
Wishing Doug Ryder and the boys the best of luck in the next season. Nicholas Dlamini as well, one of the newest entrants in the team.